Hey guys, today I'm going to be reviewing the Samsung Q990C. This is a 11.1.4 soundbar. Excuse that if it's a little bit dirty. I've had a few months using this soundbar now. Obviously been doing some streaming, and then as well we use it with the 4K Blu-ray player. This is a Sony Blu-ray player. And also this is going to be a comparison with the Vizio SB36512-F6. I wish the names were a little bit easier to say. It's this one down here. The subwoofer's right there, and then those are the little side surrounds. This was my daily soundbar for about since 2019 essentially. It's pretty dirty. This is like a fabric, but that soundbar is very good, especially for the price. It cost me like $300, and it does hold up with the Q990C. So pretty much the comparison between the two. Obviously the Q990C is an overall better soundbar. The sound stage is much wider. Obviously those wide speakers on the side, it just makes the sound stage much wider. And as well as the Atmos firing speakers, the one that shoot up, they definitely do add some higher sound in the top. It's not as detailed, obviously, as if you had dedicated. So I was saying that the top is not very detailed, but you do hear it. And then these are the side surrounds. Obviously we've got a top speaker there, we got one here, we got one here. This is not the most optimal because these are supposed to be more back, and I've had them at that level. They would sound much better, but I gotta work with what I have. And then here's a subwoofer. Now this is like the only drawback of the system, because even my Vizio, the subwoofer made such a more rich sound. This one, it's very boomy and everything, but its range is not there. So that's the one thing that the Vizio does have. It has like some radiators here. This does not have like passive radiators. So like the gap between like the mid levels, like the soundbar itself has like some subwoofers, like some bass. It has like a lot of bass, and the range of the bass really overlaps the subwoofer very well. They complement each other very well. Now this one, they do complement each other as well with the subwoofer. Excuse me, but it's not as good. Where again, in a movie, in a like full surround movie, it gets away with it because this works very well with the surrounds, and it just makes a great stage, a very filled sound. But when it comes to music, this one I feel just does a terrific job, especially with like rap music and high energy music. The Vizio is very good. That's where the Q990C is lacking a bit. Like if you put them side by side, which I've connected both, and I play the same song and I switch between them, and I just love how music sounds on the Vizio. And then not so much on the Q990C. Obviously it's not terrible, but when you compare them, I can hear the gaps between them. What does that mean? It just means that there's different tastes, right? There's different applications for these, and I'm glad that I have both, and I'm gonna be keeping both because they each have their strengths and their weaknesses, right? For full surround, obviously the Q990C, this one was no slack either, but the surrounds, the side surrounds were very they weren't the best to create immersiveness because they're just one directional. They have a lot of treble, which is in a way the treble wasn't as good as the Q990C, because this one, after watching a full-length movie, my ears kind of hurt sometimes with the Vizio. Where with the Q990C, the sound is more tuned, it's more refined, and I don't have that problem. But again, the bass on the Vizio it's great, which I wish they get down soon for the Samsung soundbars. The Samsung, I'll talk about a little bit of its modes. The adaptive mode is very good for movies that don't have a very good soundtrack. Now, if you have a very good movie, like this one is Atmos, this is Godzilla Atmos. It sounds very good just with the standard mode. With adaptive, I don't really notice that much performance increase in the sound, so I don't put it on if I don't need to, because it just up mixes. It's not what the director intended or whatever. So, excuse me, I just keep it as standard when I can. Another one was Jurassic Park. That one's DTSX. I don't need adaptive mode, but other movies like, let's say Predator, like the first Predator, it sounds better with adaptive. I've watched some DVDs. Again, they sound better with adaptive mode because it just enhances. It creates its own enhancement of the audio, and it uses and takes advantage of all the different drivers and channels that this has to offer. The one drawback that I have with the whole system is that the application on your phone sometimes disconnects, which is pretty annoying, and I just have to like remove the device and then add it again. And the main reason why you want it to have it connected to your phone, and I have a Samsung phone, mind you, but the main reason why you want to do that is because it helps, you're able to control each channel's volume. And I like doing that. I like messing around with the height channels as well as the subwoofer. Sometimes it, like I mentioned, it's not the best in my opinion. The subwoofer, how it's tuned, its range is pretty capped, and there's like a gap between the subwoofer and I feel the soundbar. So there's times where I like moving around the soundbar subwoofer setting. But yeah, the app sometimes disconnects from the phone, and I just have to like remove the device and then add it again, which is pretty annoying. Overall, this soundbar, it is worth it. Just make sure you get it on a deal, because if you don't get it on a heavily discounted rate, then I don't think it's worth it. Vizio makes very competitive soundbars. Now, the apps for this one is terrible, but you know, I can, whatever I need to mess with, I can do it from the controller, except the Atmos levels, but just keep the Atmos levels at the very highest for this one, because this one, I didn't mention it, but the Atmos on this soundbar, it's not there at all. It just sounds like a higher soundstage, but you never really hear it from above directly, unlike the Q990C, and that's why I got the Q990C, because I wanted to hear stuff from above, and I really never got this from the soundbar from the Vizio. It just sounded like a bubble sound, or if I set this to the highest, I heard a lot of the sound coming from the soundbar instead of coming from above. But that's everything. If you have any questions, let me know, and I'll have links to both of these in the description below.